Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next 2 hours, along with Gal.
Good morning.
Good morning. Nick is out of town at PAX. Spence is out of town in Alaska. Mike is having family matters to take care of, so they will not be here today. Our number is 919-518-9773, Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And today's show is made possible by vMix software, Telestream's Wirecast software, and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. So, Gal, we're having a nice weather. It's nice to work outside. Did you work outside at all?
I just woke up, but
Oh.
I just might. I need to take care of some pest control.
Uh-oh.
No, just the periodic one. Need to do it. I do
Oh,
it
okay. Just spraying
myself.
outside. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty nice weather in the morning and in the evening. During the day, it's still, yesterday started to get hot. But we'll take it any way it is. Maybe we'll have a visit from Dorian at the end of the week too, but looks like
Yeah,
it's,
they're talking about that.
yeah, at least it looks like Florida is a little less under it than what was thought to be.
Yeah,
But that means that we are,
we are next.
no, it's okay. It's fine. There were a couple of things from last week. Do you have anything that you want to start with, or shall I?
No, go
Okay.
ahead. I
So
still don't have anything.
Apple has advised owner of its new credit card, they have apparently a new credit card, to keep it away from leather and denim. Keeping the card in a leather wallet or in the pocket of a pair of jeans could cause permanent discoloration. The Apple Card is a relatively plain matte white credit card made of titanium, which was designed to stand out against other credit cards. But people have poked fun at the company after reading that the card could be so easily damaged. Can you imagine? Don't put it in your wallet. You have to put it in a special sleeve and then put it. Give me a break. Come on. Titanium. It's going to get damaged. It's going to damage the magnetic strip on it. Apple
Yeah,
credit.
that feels.
The what?
That feels like.
Yeah. Here's something up your alley, kind of. And it's interesting to see how it's going to play out. Disney and Charter Communications are teaming up to fight account sharing in an attempt to prevent multiple people from using a single account to access streaming video services. Shake your head, yeah.
They are.
Yeah, that's from Ars Technica. It says the battle against account sharing was announced at Disney and the nation's second biggest cable company, struck a new distribution agreement involving Disney's Hulu, ESPN Plus, and the forthcoming Disney Plus. Customer Customers could still buy those online services directly from Disney, but the new deal would also let them make those purchases through Charter Spectrum TV service. If you buy a Disney service, though, through Charter, be aware that the companies will work together to prevent you from sharing a login with friends. Disney and Charter said in their announcement yesterday that they have agreed to work together on piracy mitigation. The two companies will work together to implement business rules and techniques to address such issues as unauthorized access and password sharing. Now, the crackdown could target people who use Charter TV account slogans to sign into Disney services online. Charter CEO has complained about account sharing several times over the past few years while criticizing TV networks for not fully locking down their content. So it keeps on going about how and why. And obviously, they're going to do it through detecting which IPs are there. And if it's your IP all the time and suddenly there's another IP, beware. Um,
Uh, the, the whole thing of uh, trying to vilify your
yeah,
users,
right.
right?
It is vilifying,
I mean, I understand there are those who abuse it. I'm not saying I'm not saying abuse doesn't happen, and
right?
I'm not saying they need to be okay with it, right? But doing it in such a declaration, like a declaration of war, is like now everyone who is using the system legitimately and doing something is going to be marked, right, as
Right,
an abuser just because they don't care about the details. They just want to use the system.
right. And if you're at the office
Yeah.
and you want to watch, you know,
Notice one thing, right? They have uh, they have zero data about account sharing. They just feel they just feel, you know, somebody's stealing my stuff. And I think the easiest way for them to do it is just provide family accounts or something like that, right? And charge a bit more, and suddenly they'll see that those and add some additional benefits. For example, I use a Spotify family account.
mhm.
Okay, the reason I pay the extra buck instead of sharing one account with multiple users, right, is
They let
first
you.
of all, first of all, the user can only see can only play one device at a time.
Okay.
Okay, easy, right? Very easy.
Yeah.
But because I have multiple users, they all have different accounts. They're all tied to my payment account. I'm paying just one fee, one subscription fee. Each of them has their own catalog. Each of them has their own preferences, and each of them plays on their device.
And how much is the difference is
Instead
between.
of $10 for one person,
Yeah.
I pay 15 up to 5 accounts.
Okay. Oh,
That's fair.
yeah,
That's
absolutely.
fair. It works. I love it.
Yeah.
And nobody's vilified.
How does it work with we share Hannah's Netflix
Yeah.
and
Netflix does something different. Netflix allows you, I think, right now to um, two streams at the same time. Just two.
Oh,
So
okay.
if another one shares the account, then they're going to get a message saying it's already playing on too many devices.
Okay. So
Now, the legal caveat is that these all need to be in the same household.
right.
That's also true for Spotify. Everybody must live in the same household. It
Mhm.
doesn't matter if you're doing it on a mobile device when you're abroad on a trip, right? But the bill is for the people who
Right.
live in that household. Yeah.
Mhm.
Everything seems to be, and I think if I recall correctly, it's been a while since I've checked Netflix pricing. Netflix allows you to buy additional streams.
Why would they do that? I mean, why would they allow you to buy additional streams versus saying, no, that person needs to buy their own account?
If you have 4 children in the house, right? They're still they want
Oh, okay. Okay.
yeah. I'm
Yeah,
trying to
makes
remember.
sense.
I think they don't do it by the stream. I think they do it. Let me see if I can find the pricing later. I think they do it by the quality. So you can buy a standard definition one, and you can buy an HD, and you can buy a 4K or something like that.
Mhm.
And when you buy the higher definition ones, I think they increase the stream count.
Interesting.
Here, the basic one costs $9 per month, and you can only use it on a single screen. And you're limited to standard definition. The standard one, which is $13, $12.99, gives you two screens and high definition. And the $16 per month gives you HD and 4K Ultra HD and 4 screens at once. I remember correctly. Yeah, so that's what they do to solve this issue. And if you think about it, comparing this to their original business model, they would ship you a CD, a DVD,
Oh,
right?
right.
A DVD can be played only on one machine. So it's not a big deal,
Mhm.
right? You can still give your DVD to a friend. It's just a lot easier
Right.
digitally, just giving him a password, but only one stream can work at a time. So account sharing. Suddenly account sharing is piracy, right? That's that's my problem, right? It's
Yeah,
everything
as
that has to do with uh, entertainment, right? Is suddenly becoming, just because it's Disney's business, right? Doesn't make it more serious. That's because it's their business, doesn't mean it needs to become a business for me.
yeah,
For me, it is entertainment. I can do without it. Yes, I can do without it,
sure.
right? So I can get content. I mean, just open YouTube. You can get content. Yes, it's not in the same quality. It's not
Mm,
in the same. That's true. But today you can get entertainment anywhere. So their problem is just understanding that the fact that people are willing to pay for it doesn't make it mandatory. And when you'll stop persecuting your users, your fans, right? These are fans after all. When you'll stop persecuting them, then you'll start getting more.
yeah, it's the same thing with the, operating system, but, I mean, that's where Apple excels is, like, yeah, you can make, if they charge a whole lot for the OS, people would make copies and give it to their friends, but, hey, we know how to take care of you, so, you don't have to pay for it. Okay, well,
Yeah,
in that case, I'm gonna go and get mine. And the cheaper opens up. Yeah. No, it
yeah.
always
Well,
works like this. And you were talking on about CDs. The other story here goes Netflix has shipped a total of 5 billion with a B DVDs to its customers since first sending out those iconic red envelopes 21 years ago. The milestone was announced by DVD.com, a Netflix subsidiary that is now responsible for the company's physical disc subscriptions. They still have
yeah,
DVD subscription. Not
yeah. It's
everybody's
still
getting it online.
no.
So,
It's still
yeah,
up. It's still strong.
yeah,
I think the prices haven't really changed.
the prices should have gone down.
I think it's eight, but no, I think they just didn't change. $8 per month,
No,
and if you want Blu-ray, it's 10.
it's not much of a difference if you have a Blu-ray player.
The difference is in the picture.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's not much.
I don't know. I've never, I've never once in my life watched the Blu-ray. Uh, the moment, I mean, I was shunning DVDs uh, close to the end of the life, moving everything I can to a hard drive.
Mhm.
Even if I bought a DVD, I would dump it into a hard drive. And with Blu-rays, I've never even bothered. I never bought a machine. I never sat down at a friend's place to watch Blu-ray. Never happened.
I don't think I mean, Kathy may have gotten some DVDs from, what are those? Redbox? Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the automated machines. Yeah.
Yeah. That's about it. I mean, I don't think we ever got anything from Netflix. I don't think we ever actually sat down and watched. Well, we must have. And at least she did those DVDs, or maybe
Oh
at the
no,
time there were CDs. I don't know if there were even DVDs back then.
DVDs.
They
No,
always were. Okay,
movies, DVDs. Yeah, CDs were
okay,
audio only. Not enough capacity to hold
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
imagery. Yeah.
So I mean, it works. It's a business. It started a business. Look where it got them. Uh, but it's amazing that these days, and apparently, there's a lot of people on the fringes that don't have uh,
Broadband.
broadband, so that works for them.
Hmm.
The whole town gets together and sharing the movie at somebody's house. Oh, piracy!
Exactly.
Get them out of here. Yep. 919-518-9773. Computers 2K voice on Skype.
So
Kind of slow. I forgot it's a holiday weekend. Hmm.
yeah,
So
that's true.
you're gonna say?
Uh, yeah. Something that was announced this week. We don't know yet what it means, but on the Plex arena,
Yeah.
Plex and Werner Brothers uh,
Yep.
have announced they're going to cooperate to provide some free ad-based content, and it's interesting because two things. One, Plex is growing, right?
Right.
And they're making a deal with this huge studio, which is a very bold move. But it's no secret that Plex user base are heavily using pirated content.
Hmm.
There are those who just, stick with backing up their DVD and Blu-ray collection and making sure their music content and everything is available in a central location and easy to access when you're out of home. But there are those who automate piracy around it. And a concern was raised. Now that Plex is partnering with such a huge media organization, media company, is will they share what they know about the users' libraries with such an
Oh,
organization,
yeah.
right? So this is actually one of the nicest things that can happen with a company like this, and it's probably because Plex is still a rather small company. Uh, an employee from Plex, not a marketing strategist, not but one of the employees. I don't know what his position is there. Responded to a Reddit thread about this concern and explain how they work within, what do they have access to, um, and the community was like, "This is awesome, right?
Mhm.
And you are keep interacting with us, keep responding to Reddit threads about you, keep in touch with the community. Don't ever let us speculate
Right, that's the
because
right
then the
way.
speculation, right? Because then the speculation they go the wrong way, like
Right.
they started to,
Yep.
and that was great. So it seems like the cooperation is going to be legit. Plex has in its own internal rules and uh, privacy policies. They have all the provisions in place to protect its users from the scrutiny of third parties who might want but Plex will not give that to them. So for now, they're still not evil.
But it's they're giving something to the user, so this is something else that when people start using it, they say, "Oh, but there's a bunch of movies here." So that you kind of forget about the piracy, and that
Yeah,
may
no,
help,
it definitely. Look, Warner Brothers, as of now, they don't have a streaming service at all,
right?
right? They're relying on others. Their content is streamed through Amazon, it's streamed to Netflix, but they don't have their own, right? And now with Disney having their own and HBO having their own, and these companies they start to. I mean, Sony even has their own, right? Because of the Netflix, because of the PlayStation Network, they actually had content available before most of them. Um, so seems like these type of cooperation is a way for them to be more in control of their content. So
Absolutely.
about yeah, about I think 6 months 6 months to a year ago, Amazon introduced Amazon they own IMDb, and Amazon they introduced something called IMDb Free Drive. I think they changed the name right now, and the idea is that on the Amazon platform, the Fire TVs, Fire Sticks, the Fire TVs, you can watch a lot of classic movies with with ads in them.
Mhm.
So pretty much like you do on TV, only video on demand. You can control, moving forward, moving, rewinding, etc. Um, so now Warner Brothers is trying to do it with their content
And they
through
will
Plex.
have ads.
Yeah, they will
Yeah,
have ads, and that's okay. I
that's
mean,
fine. Yeah.
that's legit,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
You're getting something for free.
Right.
I'm okay with that, right? And it seems like it is a move that will help Plex grow, and I think it'll introduce uh, a lot of new users to it. They've done it before with the Tidal Music service, so you can host your own private collection that you ripped from your CDs or got elsewhere, right?
Mhm.
And you can use Tidal, which Tidal is like a Spotify. Uh, you'll need a subscription for that, right? But if you have a subscription for Tidal and you have Plex, you can listen to your content on Tidal and all of your movies in the same location with the same features, and that's awesome. That's like giving them a lot more.
And it's a step forward, any way you
It's
look at it.
definite, yeah. It is definitely a very, very positive step forward.
And the article here goes, Plex isn't just looking to compete with ad-supported video services like Tubi and Pluto. Instead, the company is aiming to turn its app into a kind of a one-stop shop for digital media,
Right.
capable of serving up anything you might want. To that end, Plex has plans to begin reselling video subscription services via its app and add transactional video on demand in the first half of 2020. So they're planning to go ahead with it. They have to. I mean, it's you have to give it a full service kind of a thing. I mean, what do people need? We'll give it to them so they'll stay with us.
Right. So so the only bad move Plex can make out, and that'll be in the future, right? Not now. The only bad move is the moment where they decide the private content is no longer going to be part of that deal.
Hmm.
Today, everything is driven by run your own server,
Right.
right? The moment that becomes second citizen, I think that's when Plex is going to lose its majority of users. Look, I bought a lifetime Plex pass.
Hmm.
That means that whether I use Plex or not, they got my money,
Yeah.
right? I think I already got my money worth by the length of time I'm using it. So they're definitely not concerned about me. Uh, but a lot of people are using their $5 a month subscription, and the moment they make that shift, I think they'll see the user base moving to the alternatives. And there are alternatives. Right now, there's MB. I know there's another project that has started to be that works in a similar way. So there's definitely an alternative.
Yeah. There is. There always will be because people would always want something they can play with. If Plex becomes kind of like an establishment uh, piece of software, and people can't do what they want with it, there'll be somebody else who is there. But like we always say that competition like this always makes it better for the consumer. There's always something. It gets cheaper. It gets better with
Right,
every newer uh, piece of software that somebody competes with.
right.
Let's go to Apple again, and that's kind of interesting. After all that they went through, Apple said on Thursday it will start offering independent repair shops parts, tools, and guides to help fix broken iPhones. The new repair program allows big and small repair outfits to sign up and get access to parts for common out of warranty repairs, something that was previously restricted to Apple's network of authorized service providers. The move represents an about face for Apple. So after everything that they really fought it, but
Right.
now they're gonna allow independent shop to work on it, which is right.
Of course,
You
it's
know, I
right.
mean, it's my iPhone. It's out of warranty. You're not gonna do anything for me. So why can't I go somewhere locally with they may charge me less or I may like them and I want to give them my money. It's right.
Come on, that's socialist.
Yeah. No, it's actually capitalism at its best. Uh,
Sharing of knowledge.
Sharing of knowledge and sharing of you know, uh, I mean, they. I doubt This is nice that they're sharing the knowledge and the information about it.
I agree. It
Shops will be able to do it anyway, and they're not talking about reprogramming creating a monster phone. I mean, this is for normal, uh, worn out parts that independent shops can work with, screens and buttons and batteries and things like that. I mean, I don't think anybody is if a phone is fried, I don't think you're gonna take it anywhere and ask somebody to rebuild it. It's cost prohibitive anyway. Uh, and talking about it, oh, I've got something I want to show you. I I need to go to the office and get it. But again, we're talking about uh, phones and portable devices. That what is the main thing that people break or wear out is the connector,
Yeah,
the charging connector. Did you ever have that happen to you? And what did you do?
I think that happened once with an older phone
Talk
with
talk talk about it. Let me go get the what I'm trying to show you.
yeah. Trying to think, but so the headphone jack would be damaged most of the time. It, for a kid's phone usually. I never used headphones a lot, but the headphone jack and a USB for those who aren't too careful can wear out and definitely be damaged.
Well, um, I I uh, I saw that and I said I need to try it, and I love it, and Kathy loves it too. So
What did you try?
here's
Show us.
what here's what we did. So you get a cable,
Yeah.
and you also get some adapters, and that adapter goes in the phone,
Oh, the magnetic,
the
the
magnetic.
magnetic one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've seen that.
and that is unfreaking believable because what you do is, I mean, I don't even grab the wire. It
Hmm.
just lays there, and I bring
Yeah,
it close to it, and it sticks, and that's it, and it's charging. And then you
yeah,
just pull it out. It just like Apple has on some of the devices with magnetic. And you come to the desk, and you come close to it, and you just move it, and bang, it sticks.
yeah. I think it's even better than wireless charging because wireless charging wastes a lot of energy.
Well,
It's a lot slower. You need a lot more wattage in order to charge faster than connecting a wire. Yeah,
probably. And it
that's great.
comes with mini uh was it micro USB, mini USB, and lightning. There are
Okay.
three
Yeah,
of
I need
those.
to see if they have a USB-C option.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. USB-C, lightning, and
Okay.
uh micro, the one for the Android.
Yeah.
And that kit, I mean, first of all, the cable is like $7.
Right.
These things are something in the same neighborhood, and you can
Okay.
buy as many of these as you want.
Hmm.
I would think you need more cables because now at this point, I need to put a cable in the car.
Right. Everywhere you
And
already
right
have a cable. Yeah.
now, if you're somewhere and you don't have it, you can pull the thing out. It's just a
Yeah.
plug. But then there's a chance you're going to lose it.
Yeah.
So it's great. It is, and it's available on Amazon and on eBay. I just got one. I mean, you see how this one goes over here, like it's
Yeah.
straight out. I got a cable that actually goes this way.
Okay.
Uh, so
So even less
it's
less
it
space.
right.
Yeah.
It's on the side of the connector versus at the end of the connector. The reason is I was trying to explain to Kathy. I said, don't pull it like that because sometimes it'll bring the connector, the adapter out. It'll pull it out. So I said, go sideways. Now with the
Right.
one that goes like this, you can't pull it straight out. So it works. It's
Better.
better to work it like that. But it's great.
That's yeah. I need to check. One of the issues I use OnePlus. OnePlus has a special charging system. It's called a dash charger. It charges the phone from empty to 80% in less than 30 minutes.
With what?
Uh,
How do you
the charger itself has the smarts. So
and
the phone,
oh,
but it
and
requires its own cable.
so it's wired in. It's wired into the charger. You don't pull it out.
No, it's not wired, but it requires its own cable. You
I
need to
was
buy the dash cable.
okay. I was
Yeah,
reading about this before I got it. I was reading and
yeah,
reading, and inside this connector,
mhm,
there is a chip that it will stop charging when the phone is charged up. It's not just a straight cable. They call it a
right. But
smart
it's
fast charger or something like that.
yeah. So there's a lot of there's a
Uh,
few smart charging technology. I need to check if
yeah,
there's one like that that matches dash. If it does, it definitely is worth
yeah.
making this transition.
And it's I mean, the thing that I love about it is I come to the office and it's laying there on the desk, and all I
Yeah,
do is I just bring the phone next to it and ploop, and you
right.
hear bzzz, and that's it.
There's no excuse not to charge anymore. I had only one hand. No excuse.
No excuse. Yeah, I was trying to show Kathy how to do it without showing her how to do it. I said, "Okay, now connect the charger, connect the cable to the phone." So she grabs the wire, and I said, "No, no, with one hand. Don't use two hands." She said, "How?" I said, "Well, how would you do it?" And she kind of figured it. And I said, "You see, but now that you know that it works, I mean, actually, you go anywhere near it, and it like sucks it in. You don't have
Yep.
to line it up and all that. So it's smart. Whoever did it, whoever came up with that, that's so smart.
Yeah, I remember seeing it for a while. I think they weren't good at the beginning, but now they're working very well.
Yeah, I've been using it for about a week now, and beautiful. It used to. I mean, I always charge the phone. It's always when I'm in the office, it's on the charger.
Right.
And when you connect it, and that's a straight cable to an aftermarket charger.
Right.
And when it fills up, it goes broop, so the battery is full, and it
Yeah.
will just keep on doing it. Broop. And I never knew what it was because it's kind of faint, but it's there. With this, it doesn't do it anymore.
Oh, that's good.
So apparently that plug takes care of it, says, no, the phone is full. I don't need to charge. And it has a blue or red LED in it. If you see the edge of it, it's kind of clear.
Yeah.
Uh, it's got an LED, so you know that there is power going in there.
Oh, nice. I'll probably start buying cables again.
Yeah, that's the thing is you have to buy more cables
Yeah.
just to replace the cables that you have because you don't want to pull that thing out. And I was worried because the cases that I use that have they're thick, the rubber. I said, so how am I going to put it? And when I started putting it in, it wouldn't go in. So took it off, put it on, put the case on it, and at this point, it actually worked its way, and you can see how it's a little bit kind of rounded
Yeah.
at the edge of the rubber, and it holds it better. and even when it was below it, it would still connect. So that's nice. They do have some of them, and I guess that's more like for Apple or whatever, that are not round. They are elongated. They're like maybe
Okay.
a quarter inch wide, but they're flat. So then if you
Oh,
have a case like on a iPhone, one of them hard cases or whatever, it would still work. They're different. That magnetic thing is taking a life of its own. So there is a bunch of them out there with different designs.
right. There's no standard. Yeah.
Right.
There's no standard
Which
yet, so
is
it's still proprietary. Yeah.
which is good in a way, you know.
Well, yeah. Eventually, it'll stabilize probably
Yep.
if it becomes popular. I mean, the big change would come from like a manufacturer of phones to have it without the just have it built in. One concern I have, so if you're not using as long as you're using a case, I think you're okay. But if you're not using a case, then get a case. The reason is, with something sticking out of the phone,
Mhm.
that is a pressure point that when
Yeah.
the phone falls, it'll cause damage.
That's
And
absolutely
so,
true.
yeah.
Do you know
And
anybody
so,
that uses a phone with Yeah, I guess a lot of people use
yeah, a
it
lot
without.
of people use it without. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't dare anyway.
I know myself. That's why I don't dare.
Don't tell me how I know about it, right? uh, all right. 919-518-9773. Computers 2K voice on Skype. John says, where did you I bought one of them with 3 cables from eBay, and I bought this one with 3 different uh adapters from Amazon. And just look for magnetic magnetic chargers, magnetic cable chargers, and they're all over. They're all over. Just look, and to me they all seem the same. There are some of them that are $40. I said, why? It looks the same.
Magnetic USB cables. Yeah.
Yeah. And one thing they tell you, this is not for data.
Right.
You cannot like sync your phone with your computer with this cable. No, for that you're going to need a full USB to go in there and the other side to the computer. This is just for charging. All right. Now, which phone did you say you're using?
OnePlus.
Oh, OnePlus. According to Nikkei Asian Review, Google is shifting production of its Pixel smartphones from China to Vietnam as it seeks to build a low-cost supply chain in Southeast Asia that will serve as a springboard for its growing hardware ambitions. Working with a partner, Google started work this summer to convert an old Nokia factory in the northern Vietnamese province of Bac Ni to handle production of Pixel phones. 2 people familiar with the company's plans said, and this is the same province when Samsung developed its smartphone supply chain a decade ago. So Google will have access to an experienced workforce. It's like, one company goes there, 2 company go there, and you have people that work here and work there, and you have people that live there that know, and it starts growing. And that's nice for Vietnam. I just don't know why Nokia is no longer there. Is Nokia anywhere in the business? I think they're still
Uh,
you
I mean,
could
they're still in the business, but they're probably downsizing.
yeah.
Or Nokia is smarter about it, and they know that uh, converting an existing factory will probably cost more than creating a new one. And they sell it to a new guy on
Ma
the block that doesn't know much about hardware. I mean, that it's possible as well, right?
Yeah, maybe Google. We all know Google has deep pockets.
Yeah.
So but it's nice. I mean, there was not one word of politics in it about, because of this or because of that. It's just because they're trying to move to Vietnam, and that's neat. Uh,
Nokia made so many bad turns though, right?
yeah, there were good phones in the beginning. I remember the Nokia phones were high priced.
The phones were always excellent,
Yeah,
but when they needed to make a choice on software,
they screwed.
once their old OS became obsolete, the Symbian, they just made the wrong choice. They decided going on with Windows instead of Android,
Mhm.
and they lost. They lost big time. And now they're back to creating Android phones, but they're not.
It's kind of
Probably
hard
they're
to
not
come
up
back.
to. Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe they still have a chance, but at this point they are like the face of yesterday, right? Yeah, too bad.
and talking about Android, Kaspersky security researchers have discovered a Trojan dropper malicious module hidden within the Android app CamScanner
Ooh,
that's been
okay.
downloaded over 100 million times on the Google Play Store.
Yeah, I use CamScanner.
What is it
Haven't used it
for?
in a
I was trying
while.
to find what is it?
CamScanner is it's not installed right now. Um, is how it sounds, a camera scanner. You want to
Oh,
scan a
okay.
document.
Okay.
Yeah. They're actually the best application today for this
Mm,
on Android is the Microsoft Lens. Microsoft has the best solution right now that I've seen. The idea is because you hold the camera in it's not a flatbed scanner,
right.
then the image actually I can demonstrate it really really quickly even with the camera. So when you take a photo of let's find it. Yeah, find it in a sec. I want when you take a photo of something that is square or rectangle, right? Then because of perspective, it'll be skewed. And what you want the document right in a square that you can put in a PDF and then attach a couple of pages together. Or if you're taking a picture of a photo from an album, you want to make sure that you got only the photo and that it's square, that it's stretched correctly,
Mhm.
and all of the visual artifacts are fixed because of the angle of the lens. And so what it does, once you take the picture, it detects the edges automatically. Have you ever deposited a check through a
No.
bank
Mm,
app?
no.
Okay, so they do that today as well. So it detects the edges automatically,
Mhm.
and instead of seeing something that is skewed, it
Right.
fixes it, so it stretches everything. And also with the scanner, there's a lot of times that you want just a black and white image because it's smaller.
Mhm.
Uh, I'm not talking about grayscale. I'm talking about only, like a fax machine. Either there's a dot or there's nothing.
Right.
No, no grading. And so it does the image processing to provide that as well. So you get clear, readable text uh, document out of it with a rather high resolution. The lenses are amazing, right?
Right.
Um, So that's what CamScanner does. It does that, and on top of that, it allows to save to the cloud, any cloud service that you want, etc. It's one of the it's one of the earlier solutions like this on Android. It has become very, very good at what it does. And the fact that there's malicious content on it is sad.
Yeah.
But as I said, I stopped using them. I actually paid for a license a while back, a
It
couple of
goes
bucks
that
sometimes.
after they reported their findings, Google removed the app, but added, it looks like the app developers got rid of the malicious code with the latest update of CamScanner.
Yeah, makes sense.
Keep in
Makes
mind,
sense that
and
it wasn't intentional. That's what I mean.
I don't know. They
Yeah.
say that keep in mind, though, that versions of the app vary for different devices, and some
uh,
of them may still contain malicious code.
Right. And the fact that it's been removed from Google Play Store doesn't mean you can't get the old
Right,
app, right?
right.
So be careful. Yeah.
So I don't, I mean, they may have added it after they found out that it's safe, or, but the last word here is that they removed the app.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find.
That was,
Thankfully, it's not on my phone, so it's been a while since it's been
oh,
installed.
oh,
Good. That'll be interesting whether it was installed and they removed it. I do know Google has the power of removing applications from
really?
your phone if they were installed through the Play Store.
Wow.
Yeah, I've heard about that. I remember it was annoying. Um,
Interesting.
yeah, I wonder if I'll be notified anywhere. I'll check my email to see Office Lens. That's the name of the Microsoft application. So if I take a snapshot of our screen, let's see if I can get it. Okay, so take a snapshot of the screen, and it cut off the rest of it. Now, if I want to see, I tell it to allow me to select. And you see that those lines,
Hmm.
here it is.
Yeah.
See those lines? When I change it, it allows me to change the corners. It allows me, and based on how I choose it, and I say, okay, this is what I want to choose. In this case, it'll be skewed because then it stretches the image accordingly, right? And
Hmm.
so what I selected, it forced it to be a square. It auto detects the edges usually. So depending on contrast, if you have a document, you put a bright document on a dark contrast, it'll find immediately the edges. So you don't need to worry about playing with the edges you're on your own.
Hmm.
Yeah. And on top of it, the moment you want to say, okay, this is a document, or it has the ability of changing the colors. So it'll be either black and white, or so if I take a snapshot of a book, for example, a page from a book that I need to read, and I'm at the library, and I snap, so I get the page,
Hmm.
and
And
I
it's
tell it,
obviously not
yeah.
perfect.
Well, this is after it already cut it and stretched it.
So
So
it still
as long as
looks
I, yeah,
rounded.
because I held the book.
Oh,
The
okay.
book the book wasn't flat.
Okay.
So yeah, let me try again. While I'm holding it flat, I was trying to do it with one hand. Uh, this is actually a good test. So you see, I got the page.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep. Yep.
it's pretty good, but it has my fingers in it, right?
Right.
Because I held it.
Right.
So I go in, I can crop my fingers out of it without losing the skew, because I'm just moving a line, and it
Hmm.
and it remains parallel to
So the
um,
other one.
to the content, and now it looks much better.
Yep.
But it still has colors, which means that
It
if
loses
I save it,
clarity.
not only that, the files are gonna be
Bigger.
huge if I keep
Yeah.
doing it.
Right.
So I tell it to go black and white,
Mm-hmm.
and now there's no colors. Actually, there's still some color at the bottom. I don't know why.
There.
Anyway, it has different filters for how to deal with it, and it optimizes the file size. And the moment I say, okay, I'm done, either I'm done or I want to add another page,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then I take another photo, and another photo, another photo, and then creates a PDF with that, and I have a copy. Didn't need a scanner. I didn't need to, just with the phone in my hand, clack, 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 like James Bond spy. You got it.
Nice.
Yep. Very, very useful
And what
application.
is the Microsoft one? I mean, if this one is still not good,
Yeah.
what is the Microsoft one?
Office Lens.
Office
At this
Lens.
point, yeah, at this point, Office Lens I think is the best one. Google has their own. I think they call it Scanner. I don't like it. It does it. It asks you to take 4 images of the document, and then it does some image manipulations, but it requires a lot more work.
Mm.
Right? It might be good for large things, but I found that it's a hassle. With this, it works. It's quick. It's fast. You can take multiple images. By the way, everyone with Windows 10 already have it on their machine, and they can use their webcam for that. So
Oh,
just run Lens. It'll ask you access to your webcam, and you can use that. So if your webcam has a good resolution, you have a scanner. You don't need a separate scanner.
interesting.
Mhm.
Okay. So if you have CamScanner, be aware that Google removed it because of some malicious Trojan dropper. Well, it's malicious. Right.
Yeah.
And you talking about maybe they removed it from the phone. Here's something else. Apple has released today an iOS security update to patch a bug the company accidentally unpatched in an earlier release, introducing a security weakness that allowed hackers to craft new jailbreaks for current iOS version. And last week we were talking about it that people can now uh, jailbreak iPhones. So they fixed it, and apparently, they just put it there, and they're not asking you.
Well, it usually auto updates, but
Yeah.
this is what they're saying is really interesting, because there is a version, a signed version by Apple of the latest version
Hmm.
without the patched code, right?
Really?
Think about it. If
Oh,
the
because
previous
from
version, right?
yeah,
Because they
right,
so people are probably they probably kept an image of that, and they're going to share that. And all you need in order to jailbreak your latest OS is just install that version, jailbreak it.
and then
Yeah.
ah, oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Well, not too bad.
yeah,
Apple supply jailbreak. That's nice. This
um,
is one thing I at least appreciate Android more than Apple on this. The unknown sources option in Android, which is optional, right? It's switched off by default.
right,
It's just a switch. True, you don't get true root access through it, which is okay. I still think if it was too easy to get root, it would be abused. But Android provides so much in the way of control of the system that true root isn't really required. And I feel like if Apple would have done that, their relationship with their customers would be a lot different.
Okay.
The stance that Apple has, that they are the only ones who know what's good for their customer,
Right.
right, is 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 worn off. It is
Flawed
no longer.
anyway.
It is,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's no longer valid in any way, shape, or form.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Movie ticket subscription service MoviePass
Mhm.
exposed tens of thousands of customers' card numbers and personal credit card because of critical server was not protected with the password. Can you
Ah,
imagine this day and age anybody that carries customers' financial information does not have a password on that? I mean,
I this company has.
ridiculous. What?
I wish them all. I used to have a movie pass,
Yeah,
and I didn't buy the movie pass with the credit card from them, so
right.
that's why I'm not too concerned.
Mhm.
I bought it through Costco. I bought like a gift card, and then I activated it. So they don't have my credit card number. In that case,
You're
I'm safe.
protected. Yeah.
Yeah, but I can tell you that as a customer of theirs, they are they are fighting an uphill battle, and I think they're going to lose because their intentions were in the right place, but the moment they started succeeding, right, then the obvious competitors, they just wipe them out. And the
Mhm.
obvious competitors are the movie theaters themselves. So you know how Movie Pass works?
Yeah, you can buy a subscription and you can go to so many movies.
Right, but how does it work
Oh,
money wise?
no.
So you pay $10. By the way, I think they changed it, right? But that's how they started. You pay $10 a month or buy a yearly subscription, and this allows you to buy a movie ticket a day
Oh.
with limitation.
Mhm.
You can only buy when you're at the cinema. You cannot buy remotely. And in order to prove that you're at the cinema, the phone connected to your account with GPS signal on, with location services on, must validate that you're within 50 or 100 feet of the cinema. Okay,
Okay.
so this means you buying tickets for for the first day of a showing is almost impossible because those are running out beforehand, right?
Mhm.
Um, uh, and if you do want to buy for a popular movie, then you need to come earlier to the cinema, buy the ticket, and then come to see the movie. So it's a hassle.
Yeah.
Now, what happens when you buy the ticket is they give you a something that looks like a debit card, and when you authenticate through the app, so you need a phone first, you need a smartphone. It's not just a pass. You can't give it to a child, so it's for adults only. And um, and when they swipe it at the cinema gets, I don't know, $10 or $9 or $8 or something. They have a like a fee that they pay the cinema. That means that the uh, the theater itself gets money, and movie pass will only succeed if you don't watch a lot of movies,
Or if you don't watch expensive movies.
because they're paying out of pocket.
Yeah.
they are paying the theater hard cash,
Mm-hmm.
right? In this case, soft credit, but same thing,
Yeah.
right? That's why when they started being successful in noticed, I won't call it successful, but when they got
Popular.
popular, exactly, when they started becoming popular, their money ran out. When their money ran out, AMC, they own the theaters in most locations, right? They're
Mm-hmm.
the biggest theater out there. AMC came out with their subscription, which had similar terms, with a bit steeper. But the difference is they are not losing money
Right.
because they're not paying for every viewing. You either buy the subscription or not. Now, if you use it or not, nothing changes for them. So they're not at a loss at offering this model, while this third party, and they work with all of the theaters. They work with the Regal and Stone theaters, and they work with everyone, right? But because they wanted to be this cool thing that is possible to work with everyone, they lost money, and they keep on losing and losing, and with something like a breach like this, they probably lose even more.
Mm-hmm.
So I wish them all the best. They had a fantastic idea, but I somehow feel that they're going to go bankrupt and they won't be able to provide this service. It'll only be through theaters. So it's a bit like the streaming battle of Disney now breaking out of everyone, HBO trying to make their own. So you're either subscribed to HBO or to Disney or to
Mm-hmm.
Netflix. Netflix is the third party here, right? It seems like it's going to be theater specific,
Oh,
those subscription, which isn't a bad thing, right? It's just it's just probably how it's going to eventually
okay.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
All right. Um, this is sort of like funny, but YouTuber and robot enthusiast Anthony Marney noticed that YouTube has removed hundreds of videos showing robots battling other robots after claiming they are in a breach of a rule surrounding animal cruelty.
What?
Yep, robots destroying other robots. That's animal cruelty. That's cruelty to robots. He's
First of all,
claiming,
they're right, but
yeah, he's blaming a new algorithm introduced by YouTube to detect instances of animal abuse. I mean, it's ridiculous. I don't know how anybody can call this AI.
come on, you
Come
know
on,
exactly how.
it's
I actually find no, I actually find it really really interesting and compelling.
yeah.
No, this
Do
is
tell, do tell.
no, come on. The artificial intelligence
Yeah.
is preserving their own.
Oh, uh,
Asimov had a good story called Bicentennial Man.
yeah,
It's about a robot
yeah.
that wants to become human, wants to be accepted as human,
Mhm,
and it's about like the whole idea that even once robots are created and they'll get a form of free will, a bit limited by uh, constructs that say they can't harm humans, or they must do things for humanity and not oppose it ever. Even then, there'll always be these second class citizens or just second class people because they will never be equal in any way to humans.
Yeah.
They won't be a citizen. They won't be able to. They'll be limited,
Okay.
and so this is this Pinocchio story, right? Of the boy who wanted to become real.
Hmm.
So this is just a version of the robot who wanted to become real, and he finds way of how to create artificial organs that will work like the human and replaces them. But the final thing that makes the robot different than humans, and this is true for when Asimov wrote it, right, is immortality.
Right.
The robot will keep on going as long as you replace its parts and will never fail, while humans will expire.
Right.
And he gets his wish granted at the end when uh, uh, when he proves that um, that the expiration date has come. So like a moment before he dies,
He'd be.
he gets granted
Hmm.
his citizenship of the world or whatever the construct was in the book. I don't remember. Uh, got it a long time ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, so hey, they have rights.
Yeah, absolutely. The next thing I can see is the cruelty police stopping all contractors and check the back of the pickup and the mailbox and the toolbox to make sure that they're not abusing the electronic tools. Hey, you can't throw that saw in the back like this. That's cruelty. I'm being sarcastic, I hope.
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to figure if there's all of the AI
Uh-huh.
used for anti-piracy. Do you know how much they are? They're exposed to so much abuse. Or forget about that. The AI that filters out pornographic content for what they call safe searches and stuff like that, right? Do you know how much porn they let that thing see? You remember
Yeah.
this was done by people once.
Yeah.
Remember Net Nanny?
Yeah.
That was a floor filled with people who would who would scour the internet for porn sites and
Right.
blacklist them manually,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Those people would see so much porn. That was their job. It was disturbing.
Yep.
People left the job because it was disturbing. So yeah, today it's done by AI.
Yeah. Um, Microsoft says that users who enable multi factor authentication for their accounts will end up blocking 99.9% of automated attacks.
That's true.
But I thought there were caveats to that you know you were explaining in one time, and I from what I remember.
So it'll still block automated attacks.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, that's right. That's the
yeah,
difference. Okay, yeah, yeah,
yeah. Two-factor authentication
yeah.
is currently the best option. Uh, it is annoying, okay, but it is the safest. To make it safe against social engineering as well, then never hook
It's
it up to a phone, to an SMS. The reason the reason is it seems that switching out your SIM out of you is a lot easier doing over the phone with the representative of T-Mobile or AT&T or whatever than than getting access to your phone and getting the two-factor authentication app
mhm,
seed. So what you need if you're being targeted, right? And so this is true for only the people who will be specifically targeted by a hacker, a human hacker. right? That's
Okay.
why automated will, if that's the only option you have, doing two-factor authentication via SMS, do it. Do it immediately. Don't think. You have that option, do it. Two-factor authentication, just multi-factor authentication, MFA or 2FA, uh, also known as, what's the name? It's called TOTP, which is temporary one-time password. The idea is that unlike your password, username and password pair, which is something that you need to remember, but it's something that you know and the other side knows, which means it can be hackable. And especially because it's not changing in any way. Two-factor authentication is based on a calculation, some sort of calculation that has a seed. So both sides know the seed in one way or another, but it's not. But other than that, right, the values themselves, they change all the time. So the only thing that is exposed externally are the values that change. Every 30 seconds, you get a new value. Every 30 seconds, you get a new value. You get a new numbers between 6 and 10 digits. When, because the time is synchronized pretty well today, then both ends can know that number. And nobody can hack it by just reading the previous number that you've entered. And even a series of numbers will not reveal the seed. So two-factor authentication, you use an app that shows you the numbers. You enter your username password. You still need your username password, but now it's a lot less important, their complexity. It's still good to have a rather complex password, but it's a lot less important. And once you identify yourself with the username password, now you need to enter the temporary one-time password, the TOTP, which is generated by the multi-factor two-factor authentication solution. It might send you an SMS with a text message with the numbers, and you need to type them in. The best solution is what's called an authenticator app. There's one called Authy, which is really good. There are ones from Microsoft and Google. They're all the same. It doesn't really matter which one you use. I use Authy because it has synchronization as well. And you get a number, you type it in, and only then you enter your account. The reason that's going to block automated account is there is no way for an automated system to track those numbers and get in. That is blocked. It also blocks most human attacks. Always remember, never give that number to another human being. Never. So somebody calls you on the phone.
We found a problem with your.
Yeah, we found a problem.
Yeah.
Could you give us the two-factor authentication?
Yeah.
No. You call your bank, or at least you think you're calling your bank after you got an email, and they ask you what's the two-factor authentication for that. No, you don't do that.
Right.
The bank doesn't need it to access your data. So the two-factor authentication is the safest thing. It is combining something you know, which is your username password, with something you have, which is access to the phone that registered as a two-factor authentication. And that's the only device in the world other than the server that can calculate that seed, that can calculate based on that seed the number that is correct right now. And that is why two-factor authentication tied in with all the regular security suggestions that you get about how to preserve your username and password and don't use the same ones, etc., will prevent 99% of automated attacks.
Okay.
That was long.
Makes sense.
And I
No,
apologize.
that's good. No. That's good information. That's good information.
This is something I've been living by for a long time, and I can say um, I am not really concerned about breaches that involve username and password. Credit card, social security number, definitely. Uh, I find it strange that none of the banks have two-factor authentication based on application. They all have text-based or email-based, which are okay. They're okay, but they're not perfect. They can be circumvented by social engineering. So two-factor authentication based on an authentication application, that is the best solution right now. They're getting even smarter and easier to use, less of a hassle. Uh, Google has it already built into their OS. So if you have an Android phone, and it might actually work with an iPhone as well. If you have a phone and you log in to your account and you set up security, you go to the security setting in the account, you can set up two-factor authentication using your phone and not using an authentication app. What it does, the moment you want to log in somewhere on the phone or on another machine or whatever, the phone will prompt you, hey, did you just ask to log in? And you answer yes or no. The moment you ask yes, you answer yes, then you'll log in wherever you're trying to log in. So something you know, your username and password, and something you have, your phone, which is associated with your security account, and you can hit yes on it. So Microsoft has a similar thing for their enterprise solution. Um, so it's getting easier to get two-factor authentication working for you, and being less intrusive than actually going, finding the application, opening it, writing the number. It's cumbersome but safe. It's getting less cumbersome.
All right, question.
Yeah.
What can you lose and be in trouble? What happens if you lose your phone? What happen
It-
if what happens if you lose the phone?
so there's always a backup, right? And it depends how you preserve your backup.
Okay.
Um, there's something called recovery keys. Recovery keys are a set of 10 numbers that you are presented one time when you register. You should print them on paper and put them in the safe. That's all.
Okay. All right.
Okay. That's one way. Another way is just put them in a password vault, right?
Right.
Like LastPass or Bitwarden, like we discussed. So that's one option. Um,
Now, if you lose the phone, somebody else can.
you can revoke it the
Okay,
moment you
that
notice
was
that you lost the phone. Yeah.
okay.
And even if somebody has the phone, they still don't have your password,
Right.
right? So lock, and also lock your phone. That's a, no,
Yeah.
that's really. I mean, it sounds funny, but yeah, definitely lock your phone. Make sure today with fingerprint locking and face recognition, it's a lot easier to lock a phone, right? Uh, Lock your phone, because your phone is usually connected to your email account,
Hmm.
and most of the places. That's why I'm a bit pissed off at banks, is they don't provide two-factor authentication that can't be worked around via email. So the most important account that you have in your life today, no, it's not your bank account, it's your email account. Because through your email account, you can gain access to anywhere,
Yeah.
right? Uh, so find a very secure solution for your email account. And yes, Gmail is a lot more secure than most. Gmail, Outlook, they are very good emails account. I know that the Delta Force email accounts, they're secure. So, right. But
Right.
you need to find an email account provider that you can trust, to understand your privacy needs in terms of forget privacy needs, because I can't say that about Google or Microsoft, but their security needs. And the security needs, they understand. Okay.
It's
Just because somebody gives you a free email with tons of space doesn't mean they're going to preserve your privacy. Yahoo was breached. Remember that,
mhm.
right? And just because somebody is asking you to pay for an email account, and I assume, I mean, Amnon, I assume that's the model you're providing,
Yeah,
doesn't mean it's secure.
that's
Talk
correct.
with the provider about security and how it's preserved and what's being done. Okay,
Right.
if you can, I don't know, Amnon, do you provide the two-factor authentication for your emails?
No.
Some,
Nobody I mean,
yeah,
I
something
was
to look at.
well, we looked into it and people don't
Yeah.
want it. The hardest part is actually to convince because I don't allow people to change the password. I have to do it.
Okay, so you're
I
you're
have
the
to do it.
two-factor authentication.
A what?
You are the two-factor authentication here.
If you come to changing a password, yeah, they cannot change it. And the passwords that I give them when they set up an account is not something that they can remember easily.
Yeah,
And most of them say, why do I need this? So because it's not just for you, it's also for me. Because if somebody can break into your account, they're halfway into the server.
right.
And I don't want that to happen. So you have to have this. Yeah, but I mean, it's just an email. I don't do anything. Never mind. This
Your
is what
bank
we do.
account is connected to your email,
Right.
right?
So there's
Your
a lot.
your tax reports are connected to your,
You
everything is
have to
connected to your,
convince people that there is a reason for a good password right now. And
right.
when I mean, Ron was saying, two factor, and I asked the business
Yeah.
mainly the business account. No, 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 we don't want any of that. I mean, people just want to be able to log in. And not
So
knowing enough about it, I mean, I can't argue it.
yeah.
So it's that's why it's not there. But yeah, if you're talking about changing of password, then yeah, I am actually, I mean, it's there's nothing better than that because I have to know who you are. I have to call back your I mean, if somebody in a company where we have 100 accounts calling and asking me to change the password, I don't do it. I hang up, I call my contact there, and I ask them, why does this person needs to change his password?
Okay. So it sounds like at least the process that you
Mhm.
have around, right, is supposed to save you from social engineering.
Right.
And that's the logic behind two-factor authentication with an SMS, for example,
Mhm.
right?
Okay, right, because it's the same. Yeah.
And it is being hacked a lot by people calling the cell carrier in some sort of a distressed situation.
Right.
I locked my kid in the car, something, blah, 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 right? Some hysteria
Yeah.
usually is involved, and you tie into an empathic person on the other side that wants to help and feels like if they're going to work by the book, which was written for a reason, which annoys the hell out of people, right? If
Mhm.
you're going to work by the book, you're not going to be able to help this person,
Right.
and you don't know anything about that person, right? And so by using uh, the fact that people want to be empathetic and help, right? That's usually what I mean. It'll brighten their day if they just help save someone,
No.
right? If because of this human flaw of wanting to help,
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm
well,
calling it a
not
flaw
everybody has that.
sarcastically, right?
Uh,
Really sarcastic, right? Then access to somebody's phone suddenly happens to suddenly is suddenly can occur.
Mhm.
And so that's why basing on something that somebody else has full control of, and there's a possibility of making the change over the phone, that is where you're going to be attacked, right? You're going to always be attacked at your weakest link.
Mhm.
Two-factor authentication is a very strong link, but if it's tied to a very weak link, then you're in problem. So always make sure that whatever chain you have, right, the point, make sure you have full control of the point where it might break.
That's a good
And yeah,
advice.
yeah. And when it comes to all of your secrets in life, remember they're tied in somewhere. Today, that something is usually either your personal phone number or your email account. Even if you use different email addresses, they usually pour into
Yeah.
one email account. That email account needs to be the most secure thing that you can think of.
Mhm.
And set a set of rules for yourself, things you will never do of that account. Nobody will ever know your password. Nobody will ever know how to get to it. No one, right? Set a set of rules for that.
Yeah.
It's either that or live completely offline, which is hard.
Yeah, that's not an option these days. There was something along these lines that happened on Friday or on Thursday. It was, I don't remember. Anyway, Foxit software. Foxit.
Foxit,
Yeah,
the reader.
yeah. The company behind the Foxit PDF reader
Yeah.
app said today, that was last week, that hackers breached its server and have made off with some user information. ZDNet learned of the breach from a Foxit customer who shared a copy of the email the company is sending out to affected users, asking them to choose new password when logging in the next time. So I got that email.
Okay.
I'm saying, Foxit, it sounds familiar, but what is it? I looked in my password file. I don't have one for Foxit. So, but it came to me. I clicked on the link to uh change the actually, yeah, I did click on it. But when I got there, it was foxic.com. It was legitimate, but at the end, it had a huge string of numbers and letters. And I said, well, I don't know about that. I'm not using them. I'm going to wait. So I waited a couple of days and started reading more, and so that there more people are having that problem. Because I tried to just logging in and say, forgot my password.
Right.
And I got, what did I get? Oh, I got something, some error message. And I said, well, I I I went ahead after 2 days that I read that yes, this is a problem and they were having it in some from legitimate sources. So I went and I clicked on that link and they sent me an email and said, click here to change your password. So I clicked it and it came up to the same page that I was on, but pages can be fabricated. But you go and you check and you see that, yeah, this is legit. And I changed my password. The other reason why it was easy for me to do because eh, I don't use Foxit anymore. So I went ahead and after I was done, I removed the account because I don't use them.
Right.
But it was, I mean, this is what you need to do when you get one of those things. Don't just click right away and, think everything is fine. Look at it, digest it, research it. Because
Right.
today they can hijack the domain, they can make a website that looks just like the original one, but it has an extra dot somewhere or something that you don't pay attention.
Right.
And it was interesting, but it's true, and they did have a breach. And another one that had a breach this past week is Dorsey, Twitter, a group referring
Hmm.
to itself as the Chuckling Squad, said it was behind the breach of Jack Dorsey's account. A spokeswoman for Twitter told the BBC that the site was urgently investigating. The account tweeted out a flurry of highly offensive and racist remarks. The offending tweets appear to have been mostly removed. So they tweeted as him. They breached his account and they tweeted like it's coming from him, all kind of thing about Nazis, and it was. I mean, there were a couple of things that they showed that was really. But I mean, here's the person. He's the head of Twitter. You
I'm
are
thinking if
supposed, huh?
I'm thinking if Nick would have been here, yeah, he would have said, so all you have to do in order to be racist is say that you have a breach.
But I mean, it's really, really bad. I mean, this is a company that's supposed to guard us.
Yeah.
And here they are, the head. They said that if the fish starts stinking from the top, from the head,
Yeah.
there you go. I mean, just ridiculous. On the other hand, and this I like that much better. French police, with help from an antivirus firm, took control of a server that was used by cyber criminals to spread a worm programmed to mine cryptocurrency from more than 850,000 computers.
Okay.
Once in control of the server, the police remotely removed the malware from those computers.
Nice.
It says the antivirus firm Avast, which helped France's national gendarmerie, announced the operation on Wednesday, and they said that they found that the command and control server, which was located in France, had a design flaw in its protocol that made it possible to remove the malware without making the victims execute any extra code. They explain it in a lengthy report, which I don't have here, but that is great.
Well, so here's my problem.
That now they know that other people know.
No, it's great, right?
Yeah,
But none of the victims knew they were victims.
right. And they never knew that they were
And they
victims,
won't know now, right?
and they won't know, right?
I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
Well,
Just just because of the possibility of um, educating people of the risks,
uh-huh.
right? The moment you hide it from them,
Mhm.
so I think if that would have happened here in the States,
It
right?
happens
And
with iPhone, with the Apple stuff all the time.
yeah, that's something else. We gave permission to Apple the moment we signed our life to them, right?
Yeah.
But um, but what I'm talking about is this is the government, right? The
Mhm,
police
mhm.
performing something on your private property,
Yeah, true.
right? So think about the uproar
Oh, okay, I see what
that an action like this would create here in the States.
wow, yeah.
So on the one hand, yes, fantastic. But now think that one of your servers were affected, and you read it in the news, right? And let's say some forum provides some details of identifying whether that was true or not. Think
Mhm.
about the lawsuit that would happen then,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So yes, it's a fantastic thing, but then again, if I was infected, let me know I was infected. Let me know that there's an option to remove it, right? You know what? Put a time, put a time frame. We're going to remove this in. You first say that the software is no longer active, right? But then you say in 2 days this is going to be removed. You can opt out. that is a completely different situation. Because me, it's like finding a bug on the floor. You have the choice whether to chase it away, to squash it, or to study it. And the government shouldn't decide for me.
Well,
So it's
no,
an
it's a good
interesting
point.
dilemma. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not that I think they did something wrong, but there is an aspect, right? Albeit philosophical, but also legal one,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. No,
About whether they should have done it or not. It's interesting.
and another one about ransom. Hundreds of dental practice offices in the US have had their computers infected with ransomware this past week.
Wow.
Hundreds. The incident is another,
Probably,
huh?
some vector of attack was
Uh,
the dental software, management software.
the incident
Oh
is
man.
another case of ransomware gang compromising a software provider and using its product to deploy
Yeah.
ransomware on customer systems.
Yeah. Amazing.
It's very amazing. If you go into the dentist, you need to find out if they're using the digital dental record and PercySoft, two Wisconsin-based companies who collaborated on DDS Safe, a medical record retention and backup solution.
Psysoft, Psysoft.
Um, no, it's PercySoft, PerCSoft, PercySoft.
Oh, per
Um,
the soft. Okay. Yeah.
and they deployed the R evil Sodinokibi ransomware. Uh, it's amazing. I mean, I didn't read it until yesterday. I was at the dentist on Thursday. He didn't ask me anything about this, so I'm assuming he's okay. But
Wonder if I can find a screenshot.
I need to
See.
call him Monday and just make him aware.
Yeah.
The digital dental record and PercySoft have been sharing a decryptor with impacted dental offices since Monday, helping companies recover encrypted files.
Oh, right. That reminds me. We talked about it, I think, a while ago. There's this site
Yeah, the
uh,
the
that,
service.
yeah, ransomware.
No
Uh,
more ransom or something like that.
no more. Yeah, something like that.
So,
Yeah,
did you look into it?
I remember looking at it. It was a fantastic solution.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sharing, going socialist on against the hackers. It's I love that.
Yeah. Well,
Interesting. It works fantastically. You send them a few files
mhm,
that have been
encrypted.
encrypted.
Yeah.
They identify the encryption key based on those files, and then they send you if
The
they have it, then they send you. This is fantastic because they're using their own computing power with the known keys. This is
yeah.
wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see what else I hit here. Here's another Robin Hood. UK police have seized Bitcoin worth more than £920,000, which is $1.1 million, from a 27-year-old convicted of computer crimes. And they're now planning to sell it to compensate his victims. So the police seized it. Now they're going to cash it. And hopefully they'll compensate the victims of this guy's victims. Oh, nice. 900. I don't know what he did. I mean, there's no talk about it, but it's an interesting way to go about it. And you know what's coming up on September 10th?
No?
iPhone 11. Get ready for the iPhone 11 on September 10th.
So September 9th, people are going to stand in line?
I guess, or 8th.
Yes.
Apple last week sent invites to reporters for its next big product launch. It plans to introduce its newest devices and service at 10 a.m. at the Steve Jobs Theater in Cupertino. The iPhone may be a tougher sell this year. Apple isn't expected to change the basic design of the device, making it the first time the iPhone had the same look for 3 years in a row. At the same time, rivals are introducing phones with flexible screens and with 5G, two innovations not found in Apple devices. Many people are looking toward 2020 for big iPhone changes. This year, Apple is expected to introduce 3 new models, replacing the iPhone XS, XS Max, and XR with the rumored iPhone 11, 11 Max, and 11 Pro. Oh, 11 Max/11 and 11R. The devices likely will include better cameras, faster processors, and iOS 13. They come at a time of malaise in the smartphone market, with people holding onto their devices longer than before. So they're going to have a hard time, but the Apple fanboys are going to buy it.
That's true.
They will. Yep. Okay. Anything else you want to add, God?
Nope.
We pulled it off by ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad.
No. All right. Well, thanks again for being here. And good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie, and Donna. Who's next to you?
Mati just.
Oh. Well, good morning, Mati. Thank you for turning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing. Back up your hard drive and update your virus scanner. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. Tonight at 9 o'clock, Mike hosts the Crypto Culture Show on Wilmington's Big Talker 106.7 FM, and you can listen on TuneIn. See you next week, everybody.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Telestream's Wirecast software, StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.